Hi everybody, it's Shandhi. So I did say that I was going to come back and talk to you guys about my skincare regimen and what I finally decided upon. I promise you for now that this is going to be the final skincare regimen that I have for as long as, like, until I find something new, if I ever do find something new. So basically, the reason why let me just start off by saying that, so I have had the absolute best skin that I have ever had, well, I guess the last time I've had skin this, like, good was when I was, like, in elementary school, probably, or even younger than that. And I've always seemed to have, problems with my skin. And once I got to high school, I didn't really know how to deal with acne. And, I tried, like, my mother, she doesn't have to, deal with anything like that. Like, she just has beautiful skin, naturally beautiful skin. And she doesn't have to do much to it. And she said, well, why don't you do what I do? And I'm like, yeah, what you do is not really the best thing for me. So I struggled for many, many years. I'm saying it like I'm like 50 years old, but I struggled for a long time until I started researching things, myself. I've also come to the realization that, what person A does is not necessarily what works for, what works for them doesn't work for the other person. So I say all of this to say I am happy that I finally found something that works. So if you look at my previous videos, at the first, I tell you that I'm trying, the Korean face masks. And I just saw that they were working for other people. And I said, you know what, well, maybe it works, maybe it'll work for me. And while I said that I like them, I do like them, but I just wanted to go even more natural, because what if I don't have those types of things accessible to me, and then, when I stop using it, I'm starting to have issues with my skin. So I did some research. I love researching. I did some research and I found, I looked at the ingredients that they have inside of, certain types of skincare products. And I said, well, let me pick out the things that I know for a fact works for me and stuff that I know works for, acne prone skin. So of course I started using stuff with tea tree. So I'm just going to start from the beginning so that I don't confuse myself. So the first thing that I do, I know that in the Korean skincare regimen, they have like a double wash. I think that's what it's called. And please forgive me if I'm wrong. But I think the first part is like an oil type of wash or whatever. So I made my own oil wash. And this is just coconut oil, because I know that coconut oil is good for the skin. And in terms of cleansing, it's actually a pretty good cleanser. I don't wear makeup often, but when I do, I find that the oil does, the coconut oil does take off, my makeup really well. So this coconut oil wash has, you see it's kind of dark and you're like, it's all at the bottom. And it does look, a little gross. But this one has, it smells good. It has grapefruit essential oil, clove, powdered clove or ground clove, and just coconut oil. And I had the coconut oil, I don't know if it's going to solidify. If it didn't solidify by now, it probably won't. And it's really cold where I live. So I just stirred it until it came like this. So every time I'm about to use it, I just mix it up a bit, open the jar, and just pour out maybe a dime size amount. Like literally, this is going to last me for a long time. And I just rub that all over my face, making sure to break up the clove. The ground clove actually, it has like a little bit of exfoliation in it, but it's not too abrasive. So that breaks up the dirt in my skin. So I thought that would be a very, very good initial cleansing. Yeah. Cleansing first step. I follow up with this powder wash. Now, I did show like what this powder wash was before in one of the other videos, like how I put it on my face. The best thing to do is to use a spoon. I use this spoon for my powder wash as well as my my sea clay mask, so that's why it's like a little bit stained. But yeah, you just take out a spoonful and you know, I add some water to it and I kind of like try to cake it on my face, and then I start scrubbing. This has oatmeal, kelp powder, sea clay, cocoa powder, organic cocoa powder, and it also has ground raw sugar. I ground it using like my food processor. And I also ground the oatmeal using my food processor, and it also has ground coffee in it. So I just ground it all up together and then put it in here. And I love the way it smells. It's so earthy and oceany, but it's a non-soap cleanser. So I just have that, like, scrub it all over my skin. I mean, all over my face. And then afterwards, I rinse it off. And then I use this. I've showed you this as well in a previous video. This is the activated charcoal. Did I just make a mess? Okay, let's just put that back in there. Okay, that wasn't smart because now it got everywhere. This is the activated charcoal mask that I have. Now, I've modified it over the past few weeks because remember I said that I wanted to get rid of my dark spots. So I added turmeric. You say potato, I say potato. I added turmeric to it because turmeric is good for brightening and brightening dark spots. Yeah. And I also added white kaolin clay because, you know, the activated charcoal does tend to draw things out from your skin, but I don't want it to like draw out too much moisture because I still want my face to be moisturized. So the white kaolin clay works very well to kind of like, you know, keep the oils like close to my my natural oils close to my skin. Yeah. And after I rinse that off, I pat my face dry and I put on this toner. By the way, like, I'm not playing when I say that I make everything. Like, I make everything so I don't have to depend on the store going out of business, them, you know, not making a product anymore. This is a toner that I made with witch hazel and tea tree essential oil, lavender essential oil. It also has a mixture of kelp powder, sea salt. Kelp powder and sea salt. And it's so bad that I can't remember the other thing that I put in there. But if I see it, I'll remember it. But that's so bad. Forgive me for that. If I remember it, I'll put it down in the description box. But after I wash and whatever, I just pat it onto my face. I use the little dropper. Bloop, bloop. Put it there. And I do that. And sometimes I might do a second application of it if I'm feeling a little like, you know, dry or whatever. And then after it kind of goes into my skin, I use this. It says jojoba oil, but this is not jojoba oil. This is almond oil, sweet almond oil with lemongrass, ginger. Oh yes. And the toner has ginger in it, ginger root. Yeah. And this has lemongrass, a little bit of tea tree. It has lavender in it. And then afterward, I follow up with a mango butter or a shea butter. Now, when the summertime rolls around, I will be doing something different because I don't need to do all of that stuff to keep my face moisturized from the cold weather. But for now, this is what works. And like, I wish I had like really good before and after pictures. And if I find any, then I'll put them up here. But I cannot believe how good my skin is looking. You don't understand. Like, I used to have such problems with my skin that no matter what I put on it, my face used to burn. It felt like somebody was like had a handful of needles and was just pressing it into my face, and now I don't feel like that anymore. And then when I break out once a month, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, my skin regimen does not suffer, and I just feel really good about that. And there were times if I don't wash my face twice a day and I only opt for once a day, depending on what the weather is like, and like if I got windburned or something, I'm not like trying to get back on track like, oh my goodness, I skipped a day and now my face just like went to crap and now I got to start all over again. It works so well. Granted, I am in no way, you know, a facial skincare guru or anything like that. I would just like to put that little disclaimer out there, but I just want to let you guys know what worked for me, and hopefully some of the tips that I have will work for you. So thanks again so much. Everything that I used, I will be putting down in the description box. And thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Before you leave, you know, rate, comment, and subscribe. This is Shandhi, and I look forward to seeing you guys again with my next video. I'm going to be talking about prepping your skin for the winter. Bye.